Welcome back here, 2014 PSP Chicago Open. Man, we got an awesome game coming at you right now. The reigning world champs, San Antonio X Factor, they're going to be taking on Houston Heat. Houston Heat lost a close one to Tampa Bay Damage this morning, so they are now in a must-win situation. This is San Antonio X Factor's first game. They had a lot of travel troubles getting people even into the city because of all the massive storms that were rampaging through the country in the days preceding this event. So here we go. San Antonio X Factor win their first one and send Houston Heat to 0-2. Off the break, X Factor, Billy Bernaccia with his broken wrist, still playing and manning and gutting it out. Able to get into the snake. Michael Kovar also on a gimp leg too. He's still playing. So here we go. Better field position right now for San Antonio X Factor.
And Chad George, or Ryan Moorhead, going to be the first body to go down. Chad George fills into the snake. Michael Kovar and Billy Bernaccia getting shot out of the snake for X Factor. And it looks like Greg Sewers is over there on the Dorito side, just chopping bodies to bits. Shoots Archie Montemayor over here in the snake as well. Greg Sewers looking to launch, coming into the 50 Dorito. Chad George now going to cross on the X Factor's side of the field. Colt Roberts over there fighting furiously against Greg Sewers. He's got John Woodley behind him.
Todd, did you see that nasty shot Chad George just made cross field? Chad George gets past the 50, smokes the last player left alive. I think that was Colt Roberts over there on the D side, last attacker left alive for San Antonio X Factor. So beautiful work. Initially, San Antonio X Factor looked real good, but then boom, San Monville steps up and takes out Colt Roberts, Billy Bernaccia, and Archie Montemayor, and giving Houston Heat the advantage that they need to take this first one. And again, must-win situation right now for Houston Heat.
Yeah, Houston Heat already losing that first game this morning. Really needs to have a good game out here. Two tough challenges for them today with X Factor and Damage. Damage beating them in overtime, in a really back and forth game of runs. So, Houston Heat getting on the board early here again, going up one over X Factor.
So looking out, game matchup here on paper. This is a close one, man. Houston Heat, with all the veterans that they have on that squad, really, they should be playing better than they played this year. They played great that first point. San Antonio X Factor, the world champs, so they're ranked, on paper again, real high too. Such a core lineup throughout the years. But this is a close game, man. If both these teams play to the potential that they have in the tank, we could see a real nail biter here. So we're gonna have to find out though. X Factor down by 1, 18:47 here on the clock. This game brought to you by Pro Edge Paintball. Man, they got the best store in Houston. John Jackson, a huge supporter of the sport, and one of the leaders of VCK, and VCK coming up tomorrow. They're going to be playing on the main field here. So, yeah, they're looking at the pits here for San Antonio X Factor. And, San Antonio X Factor's had some really entertaining games this year, but kind of getting a slow start in some of their points.
Yeah.
And again, here, the same sort of thing. It's like we're always seeing X Factor go down a few and then storm back, have this amazing, chaotic, awesome, entertaining game, and then winning and losing sometimes. And, they're not playing relegation games, but they're, and they made it to the semifinals before, but they're just, it's X Factor. They won the World Cup. They got all the boys, like, this is, they were hoping to come into this year and start winning some tournaments again.
Yeah, and, we've been talking about them. Yeah, they do need to get off to a quicker start. They can't be constantly fighting from behind.
So on the breakout, Houston Heat on your right, San Antonio X Factor on your left. Houston Heat losing a body as LJ Woodley, they lose 2 actually, so looks like Sewers and Woodley coming off early for Houston Heat. No one on the D side for them. That's really going to take the pressure off the snake side as Dimitri Meter Ninos gets into snake 2 for San Antonio X Factor.
Ninos over here now up in the 50 snake, looking to get some kills across the field. Archie Montemayor getting shot behind him. Kovar comes in behind Ninos. And Chad George comes into snake 3. He's got Moorhead behind him. Monville shooting across the field as Woodley and Sewers both die for Houston Heat. And here comes Moorhead down the highway. He's going to trade out with Meter, but that's going to leave Kovar and Chad George in the snake still together. So just 2 bodies left alive for Houston Heat. Here's Chad George. He's going to make the move on Kovar. Kovar unable to react, but Chad George getting shot from across the field. And that was the last body for X Factor, so Sam Monville going to be able to walk over and grab that flag.
Hey, you just need one alive, man. Just keep one alive.
I love his enthusiasm when he walks. Sam Monville he seems so determined to get there.
Or not.
Or not. You know what? And it's the same walk, whether he gets shot Whether he runs down, shoots five people.
Whether he's walking the field.
It doesn't, he just, and the guy's the nicest guy in
Sam
the
Monville
universe.
has one of the most unique personalities.
He is.
He's so funny.
Yeah,
he is amazing.
You know, and it's not just the dude that's just cracking jokes all the time. You know, he's just the way he is very unique. It's hilarious.
I would have to concur.
Well,
in the pits right now?
Wow, I'm just glad X Factor got all their guys here because I was talking to Billy Bernaccia, and it was like, yeah, I broke my wrist, but I'm playing. I was like, and he's like, yeah, Michael, he's hurt a little bit too. I'm like, Mike, you're hurt too? And he's like, yeah, I'm playing though. We're a little beat up, and then we don't even know if we're gonna get all our guys in. So, but looks like, you know, disaster didn't strike. They got everybody here, and but they're down 2 again right now. So, or they're down 2. They're getting off to another slow start. So X Factor needs to pick it up. Houston Heat's looking solid. 17:43 to go. We'll be right back after this. So the sun is slightly starting to come out here in Joliet, Illinois. CPX Sports Park, man, love this field. But it's, you know, the rain gods were not kind to us the past couple days, so it is muggy out here, very humid. And it's kind of a slippy and slidey field out there. Looking at San Antonio X Factor on your screen right now, down 2. Trying to put their first point of the tournament up on the board, but they are famous and notorious for their comebacks, so they've been highly entertaining to watch. You know, I'm stuck up here anyway, but I never want to miss a San Antonio X Factor game.
No, absolutely not. You know, like these guys are, you know, it's normal for these guys to either spend half the first of the match in the penalty box or go down 4 or 5 points and then come back and win. So I'm not going to actually call this game until about 1 minute left. We'll see where we're at that point.
You can never count San Antonio X Factor
way,
out, man. X Factor.
No way.
Well, they have that. It's a new mentality for them, man, since World Cup. And you know, it's actually a really cool interview with Rusty Glaze that we did preceding this event. If you go to that section of our website and read Rusty's interview, man, if you want to get better at paintball or you're leading a paintball team or plan on leading a team in the future, that's a must-read interview. Really good insight into one of the best minds in the game, and you know, one of the reasons San Antonio or the Dynasty's doing so well. But he had called up X Factor and said, hey, you guys are looking at penalties in the wrong way. You need to look at penalties as an opportunity to steal momentum. All you need to do is shoot one guy on the break. Tell him you can't, you know, shoot one guy on the break a decent amount of times, even it up, and then if you win that penalty point, and also just in general treat each point as its own set. You know, just go out regardless of the score, and X Factor has been doing great at that. So, you know, still a favorite to win here, man. I mean, you know, X Factor's lineup's only gotten stronger since their World Cup victory, in my opinion. You know, they picked up Michael Kovar again, and though they're a little beat up, and we'll see how those injuries play out. You know, it's going to be tough, man. If it heats up at all, or the rain kicks in again, and it gets slippery out there, it's going to be tough for Billy and Michael. But luckily, they have Dimitri Ninos, who's an awesome snake player too. Billy Bernaccia running in, makes it into the snake. Their split screen breakout, and it looks like Heat loses Montresor off the break, and they also lose their snake player off the break too. But still a player for each team in the snake. Dizon walking off early, so it's right now 3-on-5 advantage X Factor.
And Thomas Taylor is still in snake 3 for Houston Heat. Archie Montemayor tries to come from the Dorito can to the snake can, and he gets shot. Colt Roberts just takes one in the face going out to the Dorito side corner. Just Scott Kemp left alive for X Factor over there on the Dorito side. Nick Slowiak getting shot for Houston Heat. So I think just 2 bodies remain alive for Houston Heat. We got Billy Bernaccia up in the 50 snake, and Demetrius Ninos behind him. Here comes Scott Kemp attacking the temple on the Dorito side, trying to get a shot across the field on Thomas Taylor. Chad Boucher still alive for Houston Heat in that corner on the Dorito side, but Scott Kemp now sliding into the 50 for X Factor. Not great shots across the field right now for Ninos. He's just trying to protect Billy Bernaccia. If he can just get Billy up to go run down Thomas Taylor, which he will. Here he comes, and they're going to trade out. Now Ninos will have the whole side to himself. He will be able to crawl all the way down and put the pressure on Chad Boucher. Can Chad Boucher work any magic over here for Houston Heat? Facing a 1-on-2, Ninos and Scott Kemp.
Well, 1-on-2s can be won as long as you had somebody make a mistake, but it's not going to happen. So Chad is going to have to take the short walk there back to his pit from that back corner bunker D side. Ninos hangs that flag up. And now X Factor gets on the board. We have a 1-point game. It's such an awesome story for X Factor as they won that World Cup victory last year after being pretty much kind of terrible throughout their year. And, you know, and there was an awesome, you know, you can go and check out that whole story as Planet Eclipse, you know, last season of the roster was featuring San Antonio X Factor. And check out this replay here. Check out this highway run as Taylor, ooh, lucky he's not getting a penalty there on that one. So let's check in with the 4th member of our broadcast team. Well, in a second we'll get to Lauren. But yeah, so like I was saying, man, fascinating story behind X Factor. This is actually the 10th anniversary of their win when they came into, as they won Chicago here. Actually, not quite the 10th anniversary, but in 2007 they won this event, and that was kind of their big iconic moment to kind of thrust them onto the pro scene. So let's see if they can recreate that magic again here at this event. So let's check in with Lord.
Hey, I am in X Factor's pit with Colt Roberts here. You guys had a rough start getting down 2 points, but we've seen you come back from worse before. You just got a point on the board, so it's 2-1. How was this field layout playing for you guys during practice? You're an aggressive team. I would think it would play well to your strength.
Yeah, it's playing good for us. We've lost a couple points just getting stupid, you know, shot out of our bunker, so I need to tighten up a little bit on the D side. We'll be okay. I mean, we're shooting them on break and we're playing well, so.
Billy was telling me he was a little injured. He hurt his wrist, and Mikkel hurt his ankle. Is that affecting you guys on the snake side, or are they battling through that pretty well?
Yeah, they're playing through it pretty well. We talked to them before the match and said, just be honest. You know, if you guys can't do it, we understand, and we'll figure something out. But no, they're doing good.
All right, X Factor versus Heat right now. Heat is up 1 point, but we'll see if X Factor can tie it up.
Yeah, Archie Montemayor is actually he's the Top Gun leader through 2 events. So we'll see if Archie can put up enough big numbers to keep that, you know, to keep the lead in the Top Gun title. Also, Archie's gun from Planet has artwork commissioned by Matt Dawson, who passed away tragically. So it's kind of a, you know, kind of an awesome thing that he was able to get that artwork in for Matt before Matt went on to the next plane. So here we go, Houston Heat looking good here in this point. Scott Kemp comes off early, shot by John Woodley. 5 bodies alive here for Houston Heat, but X Factor first to attack on the snake. Billy Bernaccia to the 50-yard line, but here comes Houston Heat. Chad George trying to get ground here on the snake side.
And Billy Bernaccia looks like he wants to launch on Chad George. He's controlling the wire.
That'd be a bad move, though. He has backup behind him with Ryan Moorhead. And I think Sam Monville's over there behind him as well. We saw that mistake earlier. But here we come on the snake. It's looking like a battle attrition on the snake. You see Ryan Moorhead on your screen right there, locking down, protecting over Chad George. But look at that snake. The snake has so many options in it.
Yeah, and you can, even down a body, you can load it up, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Smart attackers are going to have a kill festival on this field this weekend, man, as we've already seen so far during this event. Ryan Moorhead had an outstanding performance for Heat, even in their loss, even though he did get a major penalty at the end of the game. But so here we go. Both teams doubling up the snake. It could get bloody here.
Sam Monville up over the top of snake 2, trying to put in Archie Montemayor. Billy Bernaccia looking across the field. Doesn't see Woodley jump into that Dorito temple. Greg Sewers up there. I think he's in the tall tower just inside that 50 Dorito. He made the bump up there trying to get a shot in on Archie. Wasn't able to do it. Kovar laying down the wire. There's Archie right there on your screen, tucked into that snake side can, trying to protect his 2 snake players. There goes Woodley into the 50 Dorito. Coming down the wire right now. Monville's going to trade out with Kovar. I think he might have even got Bernaccia as well.
Nice move. That was a great move down the middle there, Todd.
So good job by Woodley and Sewers over there on the Dorito side for Heat, making Archie turn his gun. As soon as Archie turned his gun, Sam Monville recognized it, got up, ran down the highway, and was able to eliminate those snake players for X Factor.
Yeah, and that was a perfect performance from Houston Heat. They did not lose a body, and they are now going to go up 3-1 here in this what should be, you know, I really think X Factor's going to come back, man. I mean, Heat's looking pretty solid right now, but X Factor's got to be getting a little angry at themselves at this point. They don't want to let Heat start putting those points up. But Houston Heat has to win this match. It won't completely knock them out of the tournament, but you know,
make it real tough.
It's going to make it real tough. I mean, you can go. They could win out tomorrow, and still, you know,
they'd have to win out tomorrow with high margin just to have a chance.
Yeah, and then to not have to play in those dreaded relegation games Sunday morning. That's what's so fascinating about these PSP tournaments. Each day has its own narrative. Friday, who showed up? Who looks good? You know, who's coming into this event? Who's playing the field well? Individually, who wants to win? Who's performing? And then once we start to get through the games on Friday, then it's like, okay, Saturday, we know where everyone's sitting. What do they need to do Saturday? Who are they facing? And then as Saturday starts to play out, we start sitting up here crunching numbers and doing the math to figure out who's going to be playing those dreaded relegation games, who's going to be moving on to the semifinals, and who doesn't have to play Sunday at all, finishing middle of the pack. And then Sunday, well, I mean, that's the whole reason you play paintball, so you have a chance and earn the right to play on Sunday. But my favorite games to watch are the last games on Saturday, the relegation games Sunday morning, and then, of course, the final games. Those are my favorites. So, yeah, let everyone know across your social networks, man. And thank you so much for your support. If you're out there listening to this, we need everyone in this fight, man. If everyone out there can get a friend and get on this pay-per-view, help PBA, help us take this game to another level, man. We got stats, fantasy paintball. You know, we are trying to create elements that this sport desperately needs to, you know, to highlight all of the amazing things that these guys do on these fields in this charismatic sport that we love so much. So here we go. Looking at Heat on your screen right now, doubling up that back stand-up, trying to get in the snake. Chad George makes his move. Does he get in there alive? Looks like he does. Now X Factor kind of fighting on their heels a little bit. And there's Ninos in the snake. Ninos looking for that crossfield shot, and I don't think Ninos has a tip on his barrel, Todd. Do you see that?
Yeah, I think he might have dug it in the mud back there as he dove in.
Well, you don't need the tip. You need the back, but the tip just quiets the gun down, so Ninos with his hand cannon right now in there.
And it's so much louder.
Definitely not sneaking up on anybody, that's for sure.
Houston Heat losing Sam Monville out of that snake side can. Ryan Moorhead coming in with Chad George, two bodies in the snake, protecting each other right there as Nino stands up over the top, trying to put paint back on Ryan Moorhead. Three bodies over here still alive for X Factor, only one over there on the Dorito side, that's Colt Roberts. As Colt Roberts is trying to shoot paint down in on Ryan Moorhead from that Dorito too. Archie Montemayor, he's the body that's protecting Colt Roberts from that snake side can. Kovar in the snake temple, putting the pressure on Ryan Moorhead. Chad George trying to back up, see if he can get any shots across the field. Derek Jordan, the first body to die for San Antonio X Factor, came off that Dorito side early. As Ninos, again, gets his gun up on the inside, starts working on Ryan Moorhead. Kovar standing over the top. Archie Montemayor staying locked in across the field. There you see Moorhead and Chad George working both sides of that snake, trying to get kills and protect each other as well. And here comes Chad George on the launch. Is he going to be able to trade out with Ninos? He does.
I think he stayed alive.
I think he did too, Matty. I don't think I think he might have got shot in the inside. Maybe if he didn't, that's a blown shot right there by X Factor. And they did miss him.
Oh, and Kovar dies out of his bunker. And here comes Chad George pushing forward. Archie's trying to get a penalty pulled on him. It looks like Archie, he's trying to argue his case. I don't think Archie took a ball. Bodies dropping everywhere. Archie's still alive. Think we might have a one-on-one right here. No, it's two-on-one. Colt Roberts is just going to drop the hammer on John Woodley. So Colt Roberts is like, nope, I'm not going to let you get settled into your bunker and maybe have one of us make a mistake. I'm just going to drop the hammer on you. So nice work, Colt Roberts and Archie Montemayor, the two superstars from San Antonio X Factor. Colt Roberts way high up in the overall player ranking in the Top Gun race too. And that man that's getting checked out by the referees right there, he is our top gun through 2 events, Archie Montemayor.
Yeah, and that was great heads-up play right there by X Factor. Ryan Moorhead falling asleep, getting a shot, I think across the field. And then also Chad George, you know, getting a free life right there, but then trying to run down Archie Montemayor and getting clipped in the process.
What amazing composure by Archie to take that aggression. You know, his Heat on the attack, but not enough. Colt Roberts still alive on that D side. And just amazing work by Archie and Colt, but not surprising. And what a massive point for X Factor, as they are now going to be just 1 point away, tying this up. Houston Heat, 11 minutes, 12 seconds remain. And as we get a look into Heat's pits, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. In the pits, a Houston Heat, 1 point up over San Antonio X Factor right now. Just keep the VIT on your screen there on the right-hand side, and then big Jason Trojan, coach for Houston Heat, done such a good job of helping guide this team through into their 3rd season right now. And Houston Heat, before this year began, and the 10 events that team had been in existence, they'd won 4 of them. That's a ridiculous percentage of winning tournaments, but they had to go and get some new players for this year. They got some great ones, so still trying to get it to coalesce, but looking real good here. And this point, major penalty. I think that was on Archie?
Yeah, Colt Roberts. It was on Colt Roberts.
It was on Colt Roberts and on his thigh. I saw that in the break as well. And we just talked about this. Stay out of the box. That is going to kill these guys. But here comes, look at the move down the snake.
So Thomas Taylor flying in to do a double dose, and he might, is that a minor?
Yeah,
Another minor?
It's a minor on Thomas Taylor for shooting after the fact. So, I mean, and that was rightfully so. The judge clearly called out Billy Bernaccia. Thomas Taylor came down and gave him a few extra. That was a good call. That's a safety issue as well. We're trying to protect the players out here. There's no reason to give them a few extra.
I can't even keep a straight face when you say stuff like that.
Seriously.
I mean, it's true, but it's Crystal Soya saying something like that. I mean, it's like that's like the 7th sign of the apocalypse or something.
Oh, but
yeah, war in the Middle East, drought in California. It's all I'm waiting for is frogs to rain from the sky, and then that's it. I'm going to load my guns, man.
Let's do it. Right behind you.
But but right now here, so Colt Roberts with that penalty, man, kind of bad news for them. But Houston Heat getting the penalty of their own on Thomas Taylor,
and that will stay on the board.
Yeah, and it will stay on the board. So both of these teams are going to be starting down a body. Still pretty close game. We'll be right back after this.
This isn't just a field. This is my home. This isn't just a team. This is my family. This isn't just a sport. This is a way of life. This isn't just a league. This is the MSXL.
We all know what it's like. Trying to keep a complete set of Allen keys is near impossible in the paintball world. The Vanquish system makes it easy. You only need one for everything. One key, one gun, one company. My name is Nicky Cuba. I play for Team Infamous, and the Vanquish brings my game to another level.
Welcome back here midway through this matchup against Houston Heat and San Antonio X Factor. 10 minutes and 30 seconds remain. 2 points separate these teams. Houston Heat 4, San Antonio X Factor 2. And it looks like solid breakout from both these squads, Chris.
Yeah, you know, I'm looking at the penalties right now, and actually X Factor has a major penalty, and Heat is rolling with that minor penalty from the last game. So because he did win the point, it's not coming off. So it was 4-on-4 in the beginning of this game. All right, and here you go. There's a battle matchup. Mikhail Kovar in the snake heads-up play.
Yeah.
Against Sam Monville.
Both Moorhead and Kovar just posted up on each other. Snake. This one I was talking about when you had those 4 bodies on a penalty.
And Mikhail Kovar gets owned again.
Let's see. Does Ryan Moorhead get shot? Yes. He trades out.
I think he got shot by the back guy, though. Mikhail Kovar just got murdered. I mean, he wasn't even looking. So Ryan Moorhead making some good decisions. And here comes Chad George backing him up.
Yeah, Chad George going to go head-to-head right now with Archie Montemayor. Archie into Snake 2, looking across the field. Thomas Taylor going to be coming out of this box really soon.
He actually
got shot. Here comes Chad Boucher attacking into that 50 Dorito.
I think it's a one-on-one.
It might be a one-on-one right now.
And I'm not sure. Thomas Taylor didn't come out of the box, and they called him out for not coming out of the box, or he got shot right away. One of the two.
Well, I don't know who was alive to shoot him. Let's see if he gets a shot in. Chad Boucher does not get a shot in on the player coming out of the box, does he?
X Factor getting the shot across the field and taking the point, Maddie.
Yeah, X Factor. They needed this one, man. This was huge for them. And we called this before when we talked about this field and these teams, is that we're going to see a lot of craziness. We're going to see a lot of insane points where it's almost kind of even tough to figure out what the hell's going on because of not only the speed of this layout, the skill of these players. You know, when you throw a couple penalties in here or there and guys start making moves, well, again, read and react. It's a read and react sport, and this is a read and react field.
Yeah, and like we talked about it earlier, how you can never count out X Factor. You know, that was such a back and forth game. Look at the replay on this. Here comes Ryan Moorhead just owning Mikhail Kovar, but getting shot by the back guy in the process. He didn't even look. He's just like, oh, yeah, you got me.
So there's Kovar getting tapped out, and he stands up trying to point some sort of hit. So we got ourselves that close game we wanted, 3-4, man. 8 minutes and 37 seconds to go here. I don't know, man. Todd, who do you got?
I don't know.
Sorry to put you on the spot, but that's what I'm supposed to do.
I don't know. I mean, we talked about it in the very beginning of the day. You know, I feel like with the talent level that's out here, we're going to see a bunch of 7-6 games. We already had one in the morning, or we're going to see 7-0 games, you know, and we got one of those too. So, I mean, a 7-1 Dynasty over Crew. I just feel like so much is going to be on the breakout here. You know, who's going to get that first body? How are you going to stack up and read, react? And who's going to win gunfights? You know, this is a straight gunfighters field. The field plays to getting to the front spots alive. It's about making smart decisions and controlling the tempo once you get into those front spots, not giving away free bodies, and, you know, heavy communication and teamwork. You know, the basic formula to win paintball tournaments.
Well, and we saw in that interview with Montresor in the first game that they had, the loss that they took, he talked about that. He said, you know, we're not communicating out there. We're losing some gunfights. And you know, communication's so key here because you cannot coach from the sidelines. You can't coach from the pits. You can scream from the stands, but you know, you can only get so much information from random people or even a bunch of your friends all screaming at the same time from the stands. So it's going to come down to these players working together, winning gunfights, shooting people off the break.
And there goes Chad George right into the 50 Snake again for Houston Heat. He's looking at Billy Bernaccia and Snake 3. Gunning ahead. And Chad George going to be the first one to drop, getting shot out of the Snake. Coming in is Moorhead right behind him. Billy Bernaccia into the 50 Snake, and he get a shot across the field. You got Woodley over there in Dorito 1 with Chad Boucher. Chad Boucher going to dip out to the Dorito corner. May have gotten shot in the pack. Is he still alive? Sam Monville going to fill out from the Snake side can. So Chad Boucher and...
Yeah, well, better field position.
Greg Sewers? Yeah, Greg Sewers. Sorry, not John Woodley. Greg Sewers jumps into Dorito 2.
Better field position for X Factor right now, but here comes Moorhead on the attack. Did he get clipped? I don't know if he got clipped. He's in there. He's asking for a check. The referees are trying to check him out. What a move by Ryan Moorhead. I mean, there were 2 guns on him, and he was somehow able to sneak through that gap, get that kill on Billy Bernaccia, and stay alive. And now he's the thorn in the side, and here comes the hammer down the highway. Going to be ran. Mikhail Kovar ends up taking out Ryan Moorhead, so the Snake is now completely clear. The bodies are starting to drop back and forth, and it looks like, I think, 3 bodies left alive for both teams. Roberts, Archie Montemayor, and I believe there is 1 more body left alive for X Factor, Scotty Kemp. Oh, Sewers. So just 2 bodies left alive for Heat right now. Sam Monville and Chad Bouzier. So right now, X Factor with the advantage. Scotty Kemp making his move to the 50 on the D side.
Yeah, Chad Boucher over there in that 50 Dorito. You know, he and Sam Monville, Kind of looking to cross it up as Archie Montemayor. It looks like he almost got picked off coming across here into the snake. Going to jump into snake 1 and shoot at Chad Boucher in that Dorito side corner. Colt Roberts standing up at the Dorito 1.
This could be a long point. I mean, it looks like they have both back corners.
Yeah, X Factor, you know, with the 3-on-2 advantage, they definitely don't want to give a body away. You know, we saw Houston Heat in this predicament in the game against Damage, and Sam Monville from that corner was able to pick off a lot of bodies, but due to the lack of communication, wasn't able to figure out that he whittled it down to a one-on-one. So Chad Boucher, again, you know, his teammate up in that corner needs to stay alive and help protect Sam. Sam gonna protect him and cut down these zones as Archie Montemayor jumps into snake 3. He's gonna crawl into the 50 snake.
Man,
X Factor wants to be really smart on their attack here.
I was gonna say, man, you took the words right out of my mouth, Todd, is that X Factor, though they are down by 1 right now, they know the situation because of the experience of the guys on the field. Archie Montemayor, Colt Roberts, and Scotty Kemp, that's like 30 years of experience or more combined between these guys, probably more like 40, and they understand what's going on right now. 5 minutes and 20 seconds left, probably running low on paint. Archie looks like he's out of paint right now. And so Archie has to get back, try to see if there's any paint left in one of those leftover pods. And I think he actually did get one. So lo and behold, a gift descends from the gods. And Archie able to luckily have some balls left here to fight with. So Archie then now is going to retake his position. He's got another pod on his back, good for him. So that puts X Factor in a better position that he actually has some ammo to fight with. But the driver's seat is definitely the D side of the field. You know, stacked up over there at the 50-yard line, bunkers, Colt Roberts and Scotty Kemp. But they have to get through the cross, man. This is kind of going to be a tough cross to get through here. But they have to do it just to tie it up. 4 minutes and 38 seconds. Here comes Colt Roberts. Colt Roberts past the 50-yard line.
Colt Roberts trying to put it back in on Sam Monville. Sam Monville.
Oh, nice shot in the back corner, right in the goggles. Archie Montemayor.
That's why they call him the moneymaker. Archie Montemayor doing his business, and that is going to let Colt Roberts run down the last player. Archie still alive. Good job by Scotty Kemp, who's had an awesome year as well. And when you count in his performance at World Cup, you know, Scott Kemp, such an amazing success story from him. As, you know, he didn't really have a spot on the Ironman, the team he'd been on forever. Was thinking about going to Infamous, but, you know, made it on to X Factor, and you can see that story again on Planet Eclipse's The Roster last season. And Scott Kemp, man, just came back from, you know, deciding whether or not he even wanted to play the game anymore, and all of a sudden he's, you know, one of the highest-ranked players out there. So nice job by San Antonio X Factor to tie it up 4-4 here with just about 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, clutch game, clutch point right there.
Hey,
by those 3 players.
Todd, remember we were talking earlier about the internet trolls were like, why do you guys say clutch so much?
That's why.
That's why. Because of performances like that. So let's check out this replay here.
Yeah, so and this is when actually they came across. What a great bunker move by Ryan Moorhead right here.
Yeah.
Two in the forehead.
How did he get through that gap, man? There's Kovar looking at him. There's another guy looking at him on the inside. But Moorhead either got incredibly lucky or timed it perfectly. Probably a little bit of both, and was able to get that kill looking at it from the opposite side. Bam, and he stayed up. It's like how low he stayed.
So quick.
You know, and also, man, Moorhead coming off that partially torn Achilles tendon he had at the beginning of the season, didn't even play for 2 months. So so nice work there, but it wasn't enough as San Antonio X Factor using that clutch finish there to tie it up. Let's check on Lauren Kelly.
I am here with Sam Monville and Heat's Pit. You guys were up for a while there, but is now tied against X Factor 4-4. What were you thinking when you were on the snake side in that wing and you knew you had 2 guns on you at the moment?
Really, I'm hoping one of them tries to go while I'm waiting for him. That or the snake can get close enough that I can just go get him. Fortunately, they did it smart, put it together, and just slowly pinched us to the point where, you know, just looked into their guns and, you know, just got to keep doing what we did before and not even put ourselves in that situation.
For you personally, it was kind of a 2-on-1. Do you guys practice drills on like 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s to get ready for those?
Yeah, we do a lot of like situations where it's like just that exact situation, both the corners. How to close it out, how to live when you're in those 2 corners. So we'll see what happens, but you know, as long as we go back to what we were doing in the beginning and stick to the basics, we'll close it out.
You guys had a lot of changes coming into the 2014 season, and I know you guys have been trying to get your chemistry and get your groove together as a team. Do you feel like that's been getting better as you guys have practiced and we're going through this season?
Definitely. It's more time with the guys, you know. You just trust guys more. when they're new, never played with them before. It's kind of look over sometimes and go, I'm going to protect myself instead of doing my job. So definitely way more comfortable with the guys, and it's coming well together.
What are the things that you're mainly focusing on this weekend to make sure you can get on to Sunday?
Playing as a team. I mean, really, we all do individual things, we're still a good team, but when you put it together, everything's easier.
All right, well, thank you, Sam. They are playing hard. It is tied 4-4. We got 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock. We'll see who takes the lead.
Such a crucial game here for Houston Heat. They lost that one earlier. Now, lucky for Houston Heat, they did keep that point differential real close, as that game was a 4-5 game, so only a -1 there on that point differential. And when you play 4 games in the prelims, so depending on how things sit at the end of Saturday, that point differential is huge. But this is a must-win situation for Heat. They do not want to have to go in, play 187 in Dynasty tomorrow, and losing or having lost both their games today after just having come out of the Challengers division. Such a mentally tough. It's so hard here in the PSP. I put myself in their position real quick in my head, and I just was like, oh God, that would be terrible.
It would be terrible.
Because then you got to go have those long meetings, and it's just so tough. But hey, when you're trying to be the best on planet Earth, which is what the Champions League is all about, well, that comes with stress, and that's just part of the deal, the bargain that you make to play the game at this level. It pays a lot for you. I mean, not necessarily, money-wise, financially, but as far as experience is concerned. But you have to bear that burden. And Heat right now pushed to the wall by San Antonio X Factor. So here we go on the breakout. And Heat immediately makes it into the snake coming from that back corner bunker. Ryan Moorhead just playing balls to the wall here at this event so far. As Ryan Moorhead, 7 confirmed kills for him. That's tied up by Archie on the flip side, but Cole Roberts coming off early here for San Antonio X Factor. So X Factor's gonna have to dig in. They're down a body. 5 bodies alive for Houston Heat. Much better field position for them over here on the snake side of the field. They're at the 50-yard line. They're at snake 1, and here comes Michael Kovar coming off early for X Factor. Houston Heat, the door has opened for them. 5-on-3, Kemp, Niños, and Montemayor left for X Factor.
Kemp there in the Dorito 1, fighting down the wire, now gonna have to turn on the inside, try and protect himself. Ryan Moorhead looking to see if he can wrap around just a little bit more to get a shot in on Archie. Niños there in the snake side corner, and it looks like X Factor is gonna blow the horn.
I kind of agree with that play right there. They're on their heels. The chances of Houston winning that game are pretty positive. And then, they're going to probably grind the clock down. You're only got a minute left to come back. So I kind of agree with that call a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. You agreeing with them.
Well, we're all agreeing then. We're all agreeing.
So we're all in agreement is what you're saying.
Yes, so we're all. Anyway, I think X Factor 5 alive, they need to come out swinging, get a good couple G's in the break like they have been, and then, capitalize on it from there. They're only down 1 point. They've come back from a huge differential already from being down by 3. Like we said they would.
Well, that's been X Factor's story this year. The story of 2014 for them is get a slow start and then have some really cool dynamic comebacks. And can they do it again here and take this victory? This is their first game. They do have another game, but that game's against Dynasty, so that's going to be their toughest game of the prelims, considering the Dynasty won last year and has looked great. They have, again, Dynasty not lost a game in the prelims. They've only lost 1 game all season long, and it was in the semifinals, and it was a crazy game. So, Dynasty looking almost flawless this year so far. We'll be right back after this.
Are you ready for an explosion of paintball videos? Then stay tuned to paintballaccess.com because the CXBL is back for their 10th anniversary season. Catch all the best pro talent north of the border as teams battle it out in full X-Ball matches. Paintballaccess.com, on the field, in the pits, behind the scenes.
So we are back here. The stage is set. Can X Factor mount another one of their famous comebacks? The score is 5-4. 3 minutes and 3 seconds remain. Houston Heat or X Factor, who's it going to be? On the split screen, breakout. Heat on your right, X Factor on your left. Move into the snake off the break. Billy Bernaccia, referee trailing along, trying to see if he got hit on the side. Referee still bird dogging him out. And is he hit? And it looks like I don't know. We're going to find out here. X Factor, and then Billy just says, you know what, I don't even care. I'm going to run him down.
Wow.
Awesome work
What
by
a
Billy
great
Bernaccia,
move.
even with his broken wrist, but I just think he just got clipped cross field.
No, he also clipped him, though, without question.
Bodies dropping for Houston Heat, not looking good for them. Keith DeVitt coming off. Looks like John Woodley and Chad George as well. No, I'm sorry, it was Greg Sewers, Ryan Moorhead, just Tim Montressor left alive, and he gets shot too. So here comes San Antonio X Factor as they are going to put that 5th point on the board to tie it up.
This is Todd, you actually called it earlier. You're like, it's going to be just back and forth paintball all weekend, or you're going to get, demolished, just smashed. This is what paintball is all about, and this is why I love watching these games.
It's just that type of field,
Yeah.
Like if you're on your game, then, and the other team's on their game, there's so much talent on this field that it's going to come down to the little things. And when it comes down to the little things, you have tight games. But when one team is just playing, is on top of their game and the other team can't keep up with this type of layout, it's going to be a pounding, because there's not going to be a lot of,
There's no room to breathe.
Yeah, there's not going to be a lot of low bodies, being pulled out with, like, long grinder out games. It's going to be wave after wave after wave after wave,
Look at this amazing work. Billy Bernaccia squirreling his way up and able to take out Chad George. Look at this from the opposite angle here. Look how low and perfect. Billy Bernaccia's gun barely rising up, man. Just perfectly balanced there on that intense crawl, and then was just, that was textbook right there. Nice work by Billy Bernaccia. Hope you guys were able to get your fantasy picks in. Win a GI Victus. It's so crazy that fantasy paintball exists.
Yeah, right? No kidding.
Yeah, well, and we need your support for that. So please tell your friends that, purchase the pay-per-view, help us take the sport to another level. We are doing everything we can over here to bring you the best production that we can. Every dollar that you spend goes directly into the production budget here. You're literally giving a donation to the future of the sport. That is not a joke. I cannot be more serious about that. So here we go. 2 minutes left. I don't know, guys. You think we're going to see a point here or what?
I think unless somebody gets a good 1 or 2 Gs in the break, it's going to go to stalemate. Todd?
I don't know.
Is that your go-to answer?
Yeah, I was just going to say, huh? Can't get nothing. It's tough to call, man. It is. It's really tough to call. Well, it's about to be decided here. 4 seconds before the start of what could be the last point. If somebody puts a point on the board, that could take the victory here. Houston Heat, man, they got to win this game to preserve their chances in this tournament, and they get a kill off the break. So early
here comes a major
Houston
penalty.
Heat.
It's a minor.
So that is going to really help Houston Heat out here. Might even want to think about throwing that. Yeah, Ryan Brand is always Johnny on the spot with those horns. Ryan Brand, the coach of X Factor, has started to get that down to a science, man. As soon as he realizes that his team doesn't stand a chance, he wastes no time conceding that point. Thus, now he's giving his team the best chance they can to get back in it, and that minor's going to come off the board.
Well, X Factor, they don't have anything else to work with here, as Houston Heat's going to get that 6th point. So X Factor either needs to take this next 148 and make sure to get 1 point on the board to tie it and send it to overtime. But, if they can get that, if they can get 1 more point and tie it up with some time on the clock, probably won't be much left. But do they play for overtime? Do they go for the win? Things getting really interesting here. Under 2 minutes left to go. This back and forth matchup. There you see Archie Montemayor on your screen right there in the X Factor pit.
Well, I personally don't see Houston Heat changing anything up. There was actually, I think, 2 minors on that game. I want to say, I think Billy Bernaccia got 1, and I think Archie Montemayor got the other. So it's looking they might actually start with 4 players, because 1 does come off, if in fact they did have 2.
Yeah, it depends on when they got it. Yeah, well, they're arguing it out right now. Well, it's pretty crucial. So let's check out the early fantasy leaders. Obviously, you have a whole afternoon, so if you pick somebody playing in the afternoon, he's not even going to be a chance to be on the board. But we got a weird ton of dynasty, and this is season fantasy score leaders. So yeah, Oliver Lang is just with his, he came into this tournament through two events, 75 confirmed kills for Oliver Lang this year. Ridiculous. He's just feeling the flow this year, man. I don't know where he's channeling the source. Ryan Greenspan, Archie Montemayor, Brandon Short, and Colt Roberts are your fantasy leaders. So here we go. Looks like they're starting with 3, so X Factor starting with 3 there in this point. And let's see if they can just, they gotta try, they gotta do something. Well, they get 2 kills. Look at this though. X Factor gets 2 quick kills to even up the body count. My God. Wow, X Factor's got a chance. Colt Roberts, Michael Kovar, and Archie Montemayor out there trying to do work. It's just Colt. So Colt Roberts on the attack. He gets shot. It's going to be up to Archie Montemayor. Archie Montemayor has got to produce a miracle, and you can't concede that point.
Oh no! If Houston Heat blew that buzzer,
I don't know exactly who blew that buzzer.
Oh man, if Houston Heat threw away.
No. X Factor just went and just called it a day.
Why?
I don't actually know.
I mean, Archie was still alive. You're going to lose anyway. You got a minute and 18. Let the Top Gun leader do with no one on this side of the field. Let Archie, let him do his business. Wow. So we'll wait to see if everyone spills out on the field here. But wow, what a crazy game. And it looks like the 7th point does go on the board. So I guess we're going to have to say congratulations to Houston Heat preserving their chances in this tournament by getting a win here. Not a bad point spread for X Factor though, but I don't know if it was an inadvertent horn or what the deal was with that, but I don't know. Todd, what do you think, man? I'm just going to go to you. You're my go-to when I'm drawing a blank.
Man, maybe he didn't think that or didn't recognize that there was 6 points on the board. And just trying to conserve time without really considering the fact that couldn't blow the horn anymore. But I mean, there was just 1 body left and nothing to do. So,
well, you were looking at a very, Colt Roberts is always intense. I love Colt Roberts, such a, mental and physical player, rare mix of both. And he was pushing as hard as he could over there. It's tough when you're playing that low of bodies. You need everything to go right. They did put some awesome shots back at Heat on the break, and then they were pushing forward. It looked like Archie was still alive over there with the snake to himself that whole side. I think though that there might have been a guy left.
There was a guy in the corner.
There was a guy in the corner.
There was a guy in the corner over
here. So he had the snake to himself, but you can only go as far as he was. So anyway, it was an awesome game nonetheless. Very entertaining. Both teams, they played their hearts out there. X Factor will take the loss in their first game here, and X Factor is going to play Dynasty to close out the morning bracket. That game will come at you after the game coming next, which is Tampa Bay Damage and 187 Crew. So let's check in with Lauren Kelly. She's down with Houston Heat on the sidelines.
I am down here with Chad Boucher and Ryan Moorhead of Heat. Congratulations, guys. You just beat X Factor 7-5. You had a pretty big point spread in the beginning, and X Factor was able to come back. At any point, were you sweating it, thinking that we're going to be able to take this match?
Honestly, you can't ever take them lightly, especially on this layout. So, yeah, you just got to make sure you stay controlled and keep everybody calm in the pits, and, we did just that, so.
Ryan, you were doing really well on the snake side. How is the snake side playing for you? We're not used to seeing you over there all the time.
Well, it's a super aggressive side of the field, and that's the way I like to play, so I'm happy I'm over there for this tournament, and it's going well. I mean, I died stupid a couple times, so I want to fix that up as the tournament goes, but I'm happy over there, and I'm happy with how our team performed. I mean, once we get rid of those stupid mistakes, I think we should be able to beat anyone out here.
Once you get into the snake side, which it seems like you can get in there pretty early, how productive can you be?
It really just depends how aggressive you are. The farther you get down, the more kills you have and the more opportunities you create. You get down, you bunker them, they start playing on their heels, and you start opening up opportunities for your second guys to come up and get kills. So you get a lot of opportunities for yourself and for the rest of your teammates.
Do you think on this layout the snake side is stronger than the Dorito side or has more opportunity?
For our team, I think it is. I think it just depends where your strengths are. I think you can win on either side of this field, and I think that other teams are making that pretty clear. So I just think you just have to play to your strengths, and that's what we're doing.
Well, great job. You guys won one, lost one today on the first day here in Chicago. I did hear you talking about little mistakes that you guys were making. What little mistakes do you feel you're making?
We just got to make sure we work together. And, guys if we're not communicating together, we're not, working our guys over together, then, it's going to fall apart like that. And we showed it in the first game. We should have won that first game 7-2, and we didn't. So, we picked it up from there, and then, we picked up other mistakes as well. So we'll figure it out, and we got it.
All right, well, congratulations. Heat just won that one against X Factor. Next coming up is Damage versus 187. Stay tuned.